Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thank you for tuning in for our 48th episode of The Divine Mess. And we are reaching our 1 year anniversary. And also, more importantly, the 5-0, which my co host loved that number this year. And she's looking forward to that. And maybe if you have been listening to our episode, you will understand the meaning of it. But thank you for tuning in. This is the Divine Mess. If it's your first time listening, this is where we have fun conversation every single week about spirituality, our own experiences, our perspective from the divine masculine and divine feminine perspective as well. And like every week, I'm joined by my lovely co-host from 8 hours of flight away from me. So she's in my neighboring country, Australia, Tina Marie, and she's an intuitive self-love coach, and she also has a full-time job now. Like she's busy mom taking care of the world. And from time to time, I'm here. I'm Kirtideva Hirman to remind her that she can take care of herself as well.
And to
So
surrender. Let's
and
just
to
chuck that word in for good
and to
measure.
surrender. Thank you for reminding me this. So I'm Kirti Deva Peruman, like the cosmic guide of the Hero's Mystic, where we help you to slay your inner demons and awaken your inner heroes. And like on the Divine Mess this year, we had a, I would say, like several guests that came in, and everyone had a lesson, has given us something to think about, to reflect on. And that's what we've been doing for after each guest now, to reflect on each episode. So last week we had the pleasure to have Jacob, and for the first time ever, I think since I know Tina, she was silent. Like I was surprised. I was scared, to be honest. Like I was like, is she coming back in this 3D? So I was like worried. For those who didn't have time to listen, I would suggest like go back to the 47th episode with Jacob. So just a quick reminder, Jacob is considered himself as the multi-dimensional being, inviting you like to explore the harmonious dance between your humanness and your soul expression. And he also expressed himself through his artwork and light language. So if you have not listened to light language and that was your first time last week, welcome to this 5D, I would say. And I will leave the floor to Tina because she had a beautiful experience about listening when she listened to the light language.
Well, it's kind of a little bit strange because it's not every time that you listen to something like that you have, or that it has that profound an impact on you. And everybody's obviously experience will be different. And you've sent me stuff, excuse me, on light language before, and it hasn't had the same experience as what Jacobs did last week. It felt like I was in an episode of Star Trek. My God, I got beamed somewhere else, into what felt like church, but not church, in this amazing amount of humans, and listening to, when you go to like a TEDx kind of thing and someone's a really great speaker and the whole audience is just like, oh, give me more. That's what the experience felt like, but it wasn't here. It wasn't on, you know, on this sort of human experience. And David's right in the fact that, I think Jacob spoke for what, a couple of minutes, if that.
Yeah, it was like 1 minute. And the weird thing is, like I said that on the episode, like the internet was going bonkers, like it was not,
Not
there was
coping.
something. Yeah, like
Yeah,
the frequency was so much higher
yeah.
when he did that. Like when the moment we said, like, given him that space,
Mm,
like the moment he was given that space, that's how quick it was. and
Yeah,
the
just
internet just went, yeah, like my
just better
Zoom went
than
crazy.
meditation, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's just opening up the realm of possibility, and then you go and listen to other people talk the same language, and the experience is not not the same. So, when we spoke to Jacob about frequency, and as you move through different challenges in your life, as to whether you have to stay there, or whether you can work through whatever it is you're working through, and then you get to move on to the next level, like you're playing Super Mario Brothers, kind of gone from level 70 to 71. Some people stay on that level because they just can't defeat whatever it is that they're trying to move through. But the thing that fascinates me the most is that he just looked like an ordinary, everyday person. It's not like I don't know what I was expecting, because I really wasn't.
yeah,
I'm kind of, in one of those fortunate positions where you're our, you have an opportunity to obviously meet some of these people where I don't, and I'm just kind of going with the flow the minute that I meet these people. And he wasn't what I expected, but I got so much more than what I expected to get from it. And I suppose that's just where we don't judge.
yeah.
Our humanness is obviously to judge what we see versus what we actually get. And then, I'm the curious cat that wants to tell me how you know these things. Tell me what unlocked that. What was the key for it? How did that work for you?
Yeah, because he got a fascinating like journey, and I had the like privilege, like because we met in person, and it's really rare. Like I think in 5 years, like to speak about spirituality on that level, it's really rare. Like I never experienced that. So when I first met him, we met in coffee shop, and I was like, we spent like 2 hours like speaking, like just talking, and I was like, wait a second, like just 2 hours, and that was just went by, and that's when I invited him on the Divine Mess, and I was like, you have to come on, like
Mm.
you have to come on the virtual couch. There's no way that you're not coming. Like
You're
you
not
have to.
leaving.
Yeah, because it's just like the same feeling, like like you meet those people. Oh, I know you, and we have been talking about a lot of things that resonate, like in terms of the 5D, like in terms of the frequencies, like healing, his healing journey, and I felt for me, when I met him, is like, like how that's going back to chemistry class. It's like called something called catalyst, like it's those people that you meet, like this is not chemistry class, by the way, when I'm saying that. This is not in a like chemical reaction, but this is
But
what
it is, isn't it? It
it's
is
like, one of those
fascinating.
people you meet, and it's like, okay, your ascension journey has just changed, like shifted. And that's how I felt
Mm.
after meeting with him, because I remember like the energy was so high. It was like a woof, like what just happened? Because I came back, I couldn't do, like I couldn't focus, because I was like, wait a second, like it's better to be in that high frequency. Why should I come to the 3D? Like it's like, why should I stay in the free? But that's how you feel in those people. Like I know, like people, when they think of spirituality, you instantly, most people will go, oh, you have a monastery, you have a temple, you have a cave, and you have to meditate. Like, oh, it's like shaved head for men, like it's like women are just wearing like plain clothes, and there's nothing, no jewelry, and it's like, yeah, Zen mode. But spirituality journey is not like this. It's actually, because I remember there was a video where someone videoed their spiritual journey has been, like doing videos daily of their spiritual journey and showing that what you don't see versus what you see on social media. And the days they were crying, they didn't want to journal, they didn't want to meditate. And we all go through that. And
Mm.
that's what we, with Jacob as well, we've been discussing that because, and I asked him about this question about abundance, because I was like, since our spiritual seekers, like we have a deep understanding, a deeper understanding, I would say, to how the universe work, or like how the mind works. So how are we like allergic to abundance? It's like we about the money coming in. It's like, yeah, it come in and then it's like goes out. Even like
Gone again.
when people are like praising us, or like like or giving us compliment, and it's like we refuse to stand in our own power. And his answer, like, that's where I before before the recording we were talking, and that's what I said, like I'm doing like a deeper inner work, because this is those questions that led me to that. Because I felt like, okay, there's a deeper exploration that needed. And he suggested about past life,
Mm.
and I do come from a belief that we in reincarnation, in karma, and I do believe that there is past life, and I have experienced glimpse of it. I do have glimpses of it, and now I'm getting a better understanding. But it's not a fun journey at times. Like it doesn't feel fun, and that's what people are scared of. Like that's what I feel like people are scared of. And what you can see in Jacob's journey, like what you heard, it's like only one person. But you can, because when I met with him and asked him, like, okay, tell me about the times you didn't want to do it, like tell me about those times, like how did you manage it? And that's where I feel coaches like us are really important.
Mm.
That's why we always say on every episode, contact, connect, ask questions,
Yeah.
like share your insight, so that you can get a better understanding. Because going on this journey, I know there are several messages that you have to do this journey alone. Yep, you have to do it on your own at times,
Mm.
but sometimes you need some guidance, because there have been people who has been walking those paths and they do understand it. Even if we have, like different path, but it's all leading to one, to source. So
Yeah. And I think you can't, we are designed to be connected. We cannot do this journey alone, and we're designed to meet certain people at certain times for certain reasons. It's it's important to begin to recognize who those people are, and I don't think we can recognize them without doing the work, because if we're not doing the work, then those people aren't going to start coming into your orbit. They're not going to be attracted to you. You're going to continually attract the stuff that you think is what you deserve, require, need at any given point. Why do you think we keep learning the same lessons over and over and over again? It's about the learning. And we were even, obviously talking before we pressed record, because we tend to do quite a bit about, like you said, deepening the practice. And I know that mine has fallen off of late. Just life has kind of gotten in the way, but there's been, you need to start sitting down, and you need to start writing again, and you need to start connecting in and having conversations, because Dave has continuously asked me, Margaret Mary had conversations with you? And I said, no, strangely, she's been quiet. She's been very quiet, except for in the last 2 nights deciding to speak to me in French, which is lovely and appreciated, because I can understand some of it now. But yeah, it's strange. And, you know, meeting people like Jacob is inspiring to want to continue the journey even when it feels awkward and uncomfortable and sticky, I suppose is a good word, you know, like you know you're meant to be doing something else, but it's not knowing what the something else is. Um, and none of the experiences that you're going through are making sense. And it's not until you looking back on the journey that they do start to make sense. Um, I've been interested, I suppose, in that light language for a while, but it's like, do I really need to dip my toe into this? You know, do you have space and grace to be able to do it? And then it's like, no, you need to get back to basics and just keep working on your own stuff. And when it's time, you know, it was like learning French. We tried a couple of times and fell off the wagon, but I'm at day 101. So if I can keep practicing, you know, if I can be dedicated to practice that, I can be dedicated to stacking a few more habits on top, because that's what they talked about in Atomic Habits, wasn't it? You know, just that doesn't need to be
1%.
long. That 1%, just that one thing, and it can be a couple of minutes. You know, your meditations don't need to be for hours and hours and hours. They can be for 5 minutes, and just have a track that you play and you sit there, and whatever comes up afterwards, that's when you journal. So it's the reflection part, like we're doing today, right? You know, you do the work and then you reflect on what comes up for
Yeah.
you.
And that's what I learned from him as well, is like you don't need like you know, like the yoga mat to meditate. Because like when we were walking in the forest, he would just like stop and just look at the trees or listen to the birds, and that would be his meditation. And he will just say hello, like he will say hello even to the rocks, and he will like say things like, oh, you have a beautiful history, can you tell me more about it? So that will be amazing experiences, you know, like when you meet with people who are deeply connected with nature. But to get to that point, like when he shared more about his stories, because he did share a bit more with me on those walks, you you have to realize that it taken a toll. You know, like it's you have to let go of a lot of your ego and like even commitment to the world in terms of I have to do this, you know, like in terms of the work, for example. So he had to let go of certain things. Well, circumstances brought that to him, but he had the chance to really delve into himself and take time. And he opted for that option because most people would have run away from his different situations that he would be in, but he has been guided all his life and he decided to listen. And I feel that we are always guided.
Mm.
So even like when we were walking in the forest, I will just say, okay, let's see where, you know, like we will go, like where it take us, and we'll just walk. And then you will just have a moment. It feels like meditation because he will just stop and speak to the trees or speak in light language. And this is like what's a beautiful experience I feel for people, you know, like you don't need to have Jacob's journey to do that. You can still go in the forest, and if you want to say hi to the tree, you just say hi. And I remember there was one tree that I normally go to, and we went there, and he said, "Oh, the tree is like saying thank you because you acknowledge him, like it, you acknowledge it, because trees also, like humans, need to be feels good to be acknowledged." How weird it can sound, but this is the truth because
Talk to
they
your
can feel.
plants. They feel it.
Yep.
Most
And
definitely.
because we talk about that experience when you're talking to your plants and you are saying positive things or you're putting positive music and you can see the effect on it. So it's same to your mind as well. When you start exploring those other realms or spiritual realms, you see the infinite possibilities. And I think and I feel that's what people freak out because your mind can't comprehend that, can't even, like phantom, like to understand what's that talking about. Like, how can it happen? How can this happen? When it's going to happen? And we are
But,
all guilty of that. Like, we're not saying
oh,
like, oh
1000%.
yeah, we never thought of how, we never thought of when. We say, oh yeah, we're going with the phone. No, it never
No.
happened. Yeah, the 3D mind does play a lot. And I feel like the more you delve into your journey, the more the 3D comes and challenge you. That's what I
Mm,
notice.
yeah. Well, 1000%, because as as your human journey goes on, we still have bills to pay, and we still have kids to feed, and we still have dogs to walk and jobs to go to, and all of those things are still there. Doesn't mean, though, that you cannot ignore the signs for your journey, to take you where you need to go next. Like, I have felt that I'm due to move again, like work wise. And I'm going, okay, well, show me where. What's next? I don't endeavor to create the situation. It's where am I where am I best to go next to be of service? It's the only way I can look at it. Because if you try and mentally sort through all of that sort of stuff, and I've tried to go, I want it because of this. And every time I've gone, I want it because of this, it's gone, no, sorry. You hear nothing, you get no response. You go, no, that's not where you're meant to be. Like, okay, well, if you would kindly give me some more signs as to where is next, please, by all means, make them glaringly obvious, like a lit up billboard would be very helpful.
I think like your story is like reminding me, like of Abraham Hicks. And
Yeah.
she said like they find it funny that humans have those large to-do lists
Mm.
and they find like they have a chuckle about it. By they, I mean the spirits, guides, and whatever you want to call. And they always say like the key is like when you look at your list or what you need to do for the day, just say what's going to make you feel joy out of the list, right? And then you go and do that. And if the thing that you're doing is not bringing you any more joy, you just stop and look at the list and look again what's going to bring you next feeling joy. And
Mm-hmm.
then you keep doing that and then throughout the day, it means like you have been focusing on the feeling of joy or feeling good, that you will get all the things done.
Yeah.
But it's not like running away from what you are supposed to do, but it's like it's telling you like to get on aligned on happiness, like feeling good about what you're doing.
Mm.
So if, for example, like the job is not bringing you, like Monday morning, everyone is like, oh, I don't want to go. If that's the feeling, then maybe it's like looking at other stuff that's going to bring you joy.
Mm.
And then they say like, like you can continue the task if like you're meant to do a task, like
Yeah.
in your job, for example, but get to the feeling good first.
Yeah.
Feel good first, and then
Yeah.
you do it. It's same in the gym as well, I feel.
Oh
If I'm
God,
not
yeah.
feeling good in terms of the, like in terms of the exercise I'm doing. So I will put on a music that will make me feel good. So I will stop like whatever self-help I'm listening. I will just put on a music and make me feel good. And then I will change the self-help audiobook, obviously, because it was not making me feel that
Mm-hmm.
great.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then continue with the exercise. I didn't just say, oh, I'm stopping. I'm not pushing myself, like
Yeah.
how you're listening in those motivational. And I used to listen to that, like you have to push yourself hard.
Yeah.
You have to do it like, and yes, this is what they align, this is what they believe in, then go for it.
Mm.
Because when you're feeling good, you're choosing to feel good. It doesn't feel the push. You just flow. You just
Yeah.
go, and it feels good. You're inspired. It's not feel like someone is dragging you. You're just doing it,
Yeah.
feeling good.
But it's a bit the same like when you think about cleaning a house. Like that's what comes to mind for me, is that most people go, oh God, cleaning the house. But for me, the joy is when the house looks really great. And, the joy is putting the great music on whilst you're doing it. And the joy is opening up all the windows and letting last week's energy out the door and inviting new stuff in, and running around like a crazy human with my sage stick and just ensuring everything is really energetically clean, so that everybody gets a good start for the week, and make sure I give myself a once over
Yeah.
as
And
well.
I had one client, like she was talking like, oh, I don't, her dishwasher broke and she didn't want to do the dishes. So I said, okay, what can you do during that time, right? So what else do you want to do? And then she said, I just want to put on some music. And I said, okay, so, and just dance to it. I say, while you're doing that, it's become like shake the booty, like shake your booty while you're cleaning, and feels that you're cleaning your mind, like you think.
Mhm.
So what I did is like, what I suggested to her is like, so every time you see that dirty dish, like plate, whatever it is, think of the negative thought that you have been having throughout the day and just clean it out and feel that it left your mind. So she has been doing that. And the funny thing is, like, her dishwasher got repaired
She doesn't
now.
use it anymore.
So she's like, yeah, but I can still do the dishes now. She feels that this become like a cleaning your mind,
Mm,
exercise. So you can turn anything if you want, like into a fun thing.
yeah.
But maybe look at like putting on the music while doing it, or do something fun before.
Yeah.
Like everyone that wakes up early and then go to the gym, they feel great about it.
Mhm.
And then give them any task. They will just do it. They won't say, oh, I can't do it. They
Uh-huh.
will just do it. But if someone who is like, oh, I just woke up, like I watched the movie until like 2 or 3 a.m. I can't wake up now, and give them a task, the same task, no chance. If they really want to push it, like we used to do,
Mhm.
yeah, you will get it done, but it will be like not the same output.
No, and not the same length of time. And,
Mm,
there's a level of procrastination that gets thrown in with that as well. But I do like the concept of turning things where we associate words like should and have to and must and all of that sort of thing, and turn it into I get to clean my house. So my house feels good. You know, I I get to wash my car because then I'm driving around in something that feels good. There's it's like when we were having that chat with Wendy yesterday, it's the association with words in how what I was listening to a podcast the other day, and his line that he's used for the last 10 years is, what is the chance? So like he'd go into a store and say, what is the chance you could give me 10% discount on that? Or
That will be Lewis Howes, I
that's
guess.
him. Yeah. I couldn't remember his name. You know, what is the chance when you go to a hotel that what's the chance you could give me a room upgrade on that one? Or what's the chance you could upgrade me on this flight to business class? And he said, the possibilities of the collaborations he's done, the work that he's done, the things that he's gotten from life because he's asked the question, you know, and I think that's what Jacob had sort of taught us over all of this was about your frequency. If your frequency is on the right level and you're asking the universe in the right way, you know, because the people opposite the counter at, you know, the hotel or the airport or the boutique that you walk into, they might go, yeah, I'm feeling it today. You know, I've got within my capacity to do that for you. Or strangely enough, a room just opened up. So sure, we can upgrade you. That's not a problem. You know, you're a frequent flyer or you're a frequent shopper with us. Yes, absolutely. We can do that for you. But yeah, it all depends on the energy in which you enter into any situation. And I think that's, you know, the way Jacob explained it in the tuning into frequencies and the static that some people will feel from you, you know, like as you go on your own journey, people aren't going to resonate with you and they are going to fall away. And do yourself a favor and allow them to, you know, having the conversation the other day about friendships and how I used to have a big group of friends where we would constantly be in communication all the time. We'd catch up, we'd go away for weekends and do all of that sort of stuff. And then the next minute it's no longer there. And you spend time to try and keep the momentum going. And then you have to stop yourself really hard and go, I'm not meant to pursue this. This is meant to drop away so that I can go on and find something else, or that I'm meant to spend time by myself because I've got some work to do. I've got
You
some
got to
self-reflection.
surrender. You got
Yeah.
to surrender. I'm pretty sure because it's
Mm-hmm.
about like spending because the relationship with your peers, like with your friends, it's a reflection of how are you with yourself, you know, like are you a friend or are you like a foe? You know, like are you beating yourself down or are you cheering yourself? And that's what
Yeah.
I keep telling people and reminding myself as well about it. Uh, because often on this journey, when we start this journey, that's one of the fears is people won't like me or people won't see me the same way. And what will happen? And people who love you truly for who you are,
Mm.
they will be waiting, you know, like they will understand. They will do something even to level up or, you know, like to even do their inner work.
Mm.
Or even if they don't, that's okay, but they will still accept you as who you are.
Yeah.
But the most important thing is like to accept you as who you are,
Mm.
you know, and I feel like your signs are clear on surrender, on doing your inner work,
Mm-hmm.
like we all do. And we
Yeah.
all do. Like it's not like just you, it's not just me, or we have to do it daily. Because I feel and that's what I realized with Jacob when you you know like connect with high frequency beings, like they live in that high frequency, and it's not all the time because sometimes your body can't cope with that frequency.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I had many upgrades and I do feel it through my body for me, so it's a different,
Mm.
it's not like the physical pain, it's not like that muscle pain, it's another level of pain, but it's like okay, you're getting an upgrade, but it's about how your body can accommodate for that frequency now and allow it to come through. And sometimes you won't like it, like you won't like it. And I'm not saying everyone needs to go through that, because each one we will get awakenings differently.
Yeah.
Like Jacob's story as well, he got awakenings throughout his journey through different ways. And we do as well all the times. Like even if you're meeting someone in the store, for example, it
Mm.
could be like your awakening to the next level. And
Yeah.
that could be your answer to the question you have been pondering over and wondering like where that going, like
Yeah.
I
Where to
never
next?
received.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There's lots of numbers all the time. And it's constantly going, right, what does that one mean? What does that one mean? And like no. Sometimes you go, what? Seriously? And then other times you go, oh yeah, okay. I'll take that one on board. Got in my car yesterday, number plate right in front of me. It was the 3 6s, and I'm going, okay, yes, got to spend time with the family. Fine. Okay. Let's just settle in, get that done. And we did, so it's understanding that sometimes settling in with the family or understanding the family is that sometimes parts of the family are going on their own separate journey, and it's got nothing to do with you. Absolutely. And you've got to let them go and traverse their own stuff. And it's not a reflection of you, and it's just their invitation to level up, whether they choose to what's that, Mission Impossible, whether you choose to
Yeah.
accept
You choose to accept or not.
or not is completely
Yeah.
up to you. Some people choose to accept it, but they go kicking and screaming, whereas others go, okay, right, I feel it, let's go, let's jump on board the roller coaster and sit in the front seat.
Yeah. Whether you like it or not, like whether you like it. But when you commit to it, because there's another thing, like while you were sharing, I realized as well with Jacob, what I learned is like going within, like if you spend time listening to others as well, or, like even reading other books as well, then you won't have time to read yours, and you will be biased in a way, you will become biased. So maybe sometime it's really important every single time to take time for you and just sit with you. And there was like 2 episodes ago, I think I said that like there was this monk who said like in the first 15 minutes of your day, just switch it off, switch everything off, and just spend it with your thought
Yeah.
and just see what come up.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that's really important as well, and to accept that um, light within you.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, it's coffee on the front doorstep where there's just nobody else around, and it's just quiet, and you get to go, okay, well, what's the intention for my day? Where am I starting? This is a nice place to start. On appearances, it's not real flash, but it's just a quiet spot that I can choose to sit in the sunshine if it's sunny, or I can just choose to sit out of the wind and just enjoy my coffee and watch the sun come up. And it's just a little bit of inner peace for a couple of minutes. But yeah, I think we would love to have more people like Jacob come on, because they are timely reminders. I think that's what all of our guests have been for us during this whole entire time, has been timely reminders of work to do,
Yeah. And it's always like reminding us where we can work on or where we have improved. It's also a reflection of that journey as well. Because this morning I was reading again, like, so I stopped reading more books now. So I'm just reading the one I have. and I've been reading again The Wisdom of the Council. And so it's by Sarah Landon. And in there, they say, look back 10 years ago on your life, right? Look back at the person you were 10 years ago. And just when you look back, tell yourself how far you have come and how much you have accomplished. It's not looking back at the ugly, like what you didn't like, but look how far you have come.
Yeah.
And when you see that person, imagine yourself, imagine like you have been running a marathon, right? And that person you can see from far is like running towards you. And that's you, right? And you're waiting at the end. Like you're then you right now.
Yeah.
And you're waiting at the end. And that person is coming and coming. And you keep cheering for them. Like say, don't give up here. You know your story. You know where you've been through, what you have been through. So reflect on that, and just when the person comes, just give them the biggest cheer, the biggest hug, and say you did it.
Yeah.
And that's how you should be feeling about your past. And I feel like that's a great analogy, like to reflect on. Because often we say, like, in our past, we often reflect on our mistakes, like what we could have done, what we could have done better. I wish I'd said this to this person. I wish I had taken another path. Especially if you're feeling lost during this time and you're feeling stuck or somewhere, just just reflect back on the 10 years you've been here on this planet. Not go further, not to reflect back on the setbacks, but on how far you have come, and you're still here.
Yeah.
You're still breathing, you're still going, you're still waking up. Even how, like messy it feels, the day might feel.
Yeah.
Still doing it.
True.
And congratulate yourself for that.
But don't forget, the person that you will be in 10 years' time is doing that for you right now. Like if we're not talking linear in terms of time, where we are right now, we're that person running towards the next 10 years and the infinite possibilities of what is out there. We don't get to limit ourselves. So back to the journal book, back to the 15 minutes of meditation in the morning, which is a good timely reminder, and to have my earphones by my bed so I can do that. And yeah, just keep.
I think you already got free first tip of your book.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, there's a lot.
Get your earphones near your bedside, next to you.
Yes, because you know where I
3.
found them? In the bathroom. That's not handy. That is not handy. One pair by the bedside and one pair in the car for the gym, and I think we're good. So that will be super helpful. But as always, it's such a divine pleasure having conversations with you in the morning, my friend, and also timely reminder of the gentle butt kicking that I might need to continue to get stuff done for myself. So that's what my next 3 days of time out will be all about, and planning the next holiday.
So you won't have your phones. That's what you're saying. You're going in the forest for the next 3 days and staying by yourself.
Maybe in the mornings. Maybe in the mornings might do not the forest, but the river, perhaps.
Yeah.
Go for a little walk, because finding some audiobooks. Tried the Untethered Soul. That did not work for me. I don't know whether it was the person who was reading the book or what it was, but it's just not for me. So we'll move on to something new. See what resonates. But until next week. take care of yourselves. We love you. Thanks for joining us on the couch, and we will speak to you next week.
Thank you for listening, and we are looking forward to our next guest on next coming weeks now. We'll see. Take good care.